to Pro League 2016 with Tasteless and GTR. We're going on to our second match here today.
Yeah, CJ enters here with that hero who is at IM Type A, so they are very short on players. 5 players that they can use in this series against Afreeca Freaks. We see Afreeca Freaks here also with 5 players only, so it's going to be really tight to see how these two teams approach the match that we have here today between these two teams.
All right, we're going to have 2 of the players come out, shake hands. We're going to get this started right now. For our first match, it's going to be Bbyong versus aLive.
Yeah, aLive, one of those players that did really well in Wings of Liberty. Struggling hard at Storm, but he's making a comeback here in Legacy of the Void. And Bbyong's one of those players that doesn't really get talked about that much because they don't really produce that many results, but they're just very strong. He's a very strong player.
Yeah, he's a really good player. So let's go ahead and see what exactly is going to happen here today. This should be one of our closer matches, just like yesterday. Our second match that we had was closer. We did go to game number 5. That's always exciting to have that ace match where each team has to get together and pick who they're going to throw out when everything is on the line.
There's a lot of strategy behind the ace match. Not only you have to consider who's on your team to play on that map, you also have to consider who's on their team, if they're going to do a sniping strategy, or it is a huge mind game in terms of picking who your ace player will be.
All right, well, the pressure is on right now. We're about to get this started. I'm really curious to see who people picked for their predictions in our first game.
Well, for me, I picked aLive just for the fact that I haven't really seen much of Bbyong so far in Legacy of the Void. aLive has been showing those results. He did really well in SSL, defeating Youngchick in the losers bracket.
Yeah, he's had surprisingly good results. I mean, he's looking really on top of this, which is interesting because aLive was not looking too hot in Heart of the Swarm.
Yeah, and Bbyong is, as we mentioned before, he's one of those more solid turn players, but he's not really that upper tier turn players that we see with TY, Maru, Innovation. He's not really up there with them, so we'll see if Legacy of the Void, and this year we'll see if Bbyong can get to that echelon of turn players here in Korea, but for now he's in that tier below.
Here is a lineup for CJ, Hero, Hush, Bbyong, Bunny, Byul, and Ragnarok, but Hero not present right now, so he's off that list. You got to remember that. We had IEM Type A going on earlier today. Yep,
their head coach, former Zerg player for CJ enters Orion, and his assistant coach is the former Terran player Sky High. As we don't talk about the Freaks here, as we transition to the today's matches, CJ enters and Afreeca Freaks. First game will be Bbyong against aLive on Lerilak Crest. Second game will be Byul against Super on Arena. Third game will be Hush against Keen on Orbital Shipyard. And if needed for that 4th match, we will have Ragnarok against Billowy on Ruins of Ceres.
Yeah, I'd say Billowy is their weaker player, which can cause some problems here, because even if any of the players on the Freaks do manage to win game 1, I think there's a chance this still will be a 3-1.
It's going to be really tough, just the same as yesterday for the Afreeca Freaks to maybe take the win, but it's Pro League, anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Guys, get out there, get on your social media, get on your Skype, get on your phone, start texting, tell people to join us here at Pro League, because Pro League is back, bitches. We are ready. We are going into this team match. The oldest esports team league alive still today. From the start all the way to the finish now. I mean, well, there's no finish. We're still going, but it's been around forever.
12 years.
12 years.
That's a long time in esports as well.
Yeah, that's true.
As we see the ratings here, actually, for both players, and it looks like Orion, the CJ coach, doesn't have that much faith in Bbyong's abilities right now, which is quite interesting, because Bbyong is one of the stronger players on the team.
Historically, Bbyong's done very well, but, I mean, aLive looks like he's on fire. He's got the eye of the tiger.
And what we've seen so far, as mentioned previously, his results have been showing Legacy of the Void, and with this pentagram that we see right now, it seems that Legend has a lot of trust in aLive's ability in Legacy of the Void.
Yeah, I can't blame him, especially for how he's been playing. Now, historically, Bbyong has dominated aLive with double the number of wins that aLive has against him, but different game, different strats often lead to different players coming out on top. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the people watching here are banking on aLive being the one who's going to come out and win this.
As we see predictions here, everyone here in the studio, caster-wise, is actually going for aLive. I actually thought one of them might go for Bbyong, but it looks like everyone has faith in aLive's ability in Legacy Void, so we'll just have to see how Bbyong reacts to this prediction. We'll see how well he will do in this matchup. Lerilak Crest, a very open map, so we're going to see that tank-evac, I guess we'll call it tank-evac, play between these two players if they opt for that. And yeah, I'm really interested to see how this game goes.
We are going to be on Lerilak Crest. The game is ready, so we're going to hop right into this. Starting off today with a Terran versus Terran. Bbyong against aLive in our second team match in Pro League 2016, day number 2. Do we not have any cheers there in the audience?
Yeah,
it was really weird.
It was awkwardly quiet. I was like, where are the CJ fans? Like, where are the Afreeca fans?
I don't know, man. That was weird. Okay. So, bottom left is aLive, upper right is Bbyong. That was just really weird.
Really, like, strangely, yeah.
I didn't even notice quite what it was at first. I was like, well, something feels wrong about the outro into the game, and then I realized, yeah, it's the fans. Nobody cheered. All right, well, we're in the library here, the SPL2016 library. Nobody's talking.
The librarians keep everyone quiet.
Keep it down. Shh.
We have to cast really quietly right now.
Then we laugh. We got a snicker like in the library, like.
That sign said something that my Korean is too poor to translate. I think he traveled all the way from the city of Changwon, which is quite far from Seoul, actually. So good on him.
Good detective work there, GTR.
Yep. So thanks for coming down to this.
I almost called you GRT.
GRT.
GTR, right?
Yes, it's GTR.
Okay, I thought my brain just played a trick on me or something. I don't know what happened there.
At least he didn't call me like RTG or anything weird like that, so it's all good.
If I called you GRtosis or something like that, maybe that's what's going on with me.
Our Archon name is, what is it, Taste GTR?
Taste, or it was GTR-less, we could do that. That could be our Archon name.
As go back into this game, both players scouting that top left base, but it's going to be those SVs going to reach each other. Interesting to note that all games that we've seen so far in Lerilak Crest have been these cross spawns at the top right against the bottom left, so it's pretty funny to see these possible split map situations, especially in TVT, where the more bases you take, the more thin that your tank lines are going to get, and as a result, a lot of army movements are required.
Yeah, TVT, this is really turning out to be an absolutely beautiful matchup. I'm loving the way it works. I'm loving the builds we're seeing. It does seem like many of the players center around surviving the Banshee harass initially and then immediately diving into Marine, Siege Tank, Medevac, with a lot of tanks being comboed with the Medevacs, flown around, used to harass, not just to push and secure position.
Yeah, once you get that third base up, it's pretty much open from there, because you need to not only harass with your Medivacs and your tanks, you also need to control the map as well. As we see here, aLive going for that tech lab, lifting that off, getting another tech lab from that factory. So I think we're going to see Banshee play from him, as Bbyong, we'll see what he's doing to react to this.
All right, we have the command center coming down here now. aLive is going for
Raven.
Not the Banshee tech, yeah, a Raven, cool. And that really indicates that he just wants to play on the defense and he wants to have a solid hold here. I actually like what we're seeing here from aLive. I don't know if you should be going for Banshees, because even if they do damage, you're going to be behind on the Medevac count, I would think.
Because that is one production cycle that you are missing from your starport. So
that's right.
We see here Bbyong just trying to harass with his Hellion. The SV chases, Hellion chases the SV that wanted to scout away. And I really like this move here from Bbyong, having those Marines in the middle of the map, knowing that aLive might not be out. This Hellion actually gets picked up by the Marines. That's
not cool, Bbyong. That's bad.
Yeah, that's gonna.
That's bad.
That's really bad. That's gonna.
Really bad. You're supposed to be using that the whole time to see if there's any movement, and he's not even watching enough to get the Hellion away in time.
Not only that, but the Hellion also helps add damage to that Marine harass that he's doing right now. As we see, wow, actually really early tank here after that Hellion. We'll see how much damage he does.
Yeah, this is pretty cool, actually. Yeah. Just a straight up push here from Bbyong. Gonna make quick work of this turret. Oh, he's actually doing a good job. He's hitting the medevac.
Yeah, if aLive's not careful here, Bbyong can reposition his tank. But actually, the tank's actually going straight forward into the base of aLive, and aLive's got to wait till this next production cycle come out. With this siege tank coming out, he's actually bringing out STVs to help bide more time, but it doesn't look like it's enough for aLive right now. He got really greedy there, and Bbyong punishing him appropriately.
Well, it was nicely done, though. He did manage to get the tank. He did manage to get the medevac. But that was a bit of an exchange. I mean, CJ Hero did get a good amount of kills. Let's see where this game goes from here. And by the way, Bbyong gonna follow this up with a later Banshee. Now, we've seen this in all forms of StarCraft, in all iterations. You know, just like a lot of Protosses aren't prepared if Zerg abruptly goes for mutas in the late game. You know, historically, and more commonly in most RTSs, players tend to rush for the air units early on, and then the other player has the defense necessary, and then we kind of move on to the rest of the game. But, you know, getting a Banshee later on, where aLive might not be expecting it, he may not have the defenses there, and this Banshee might do more damage than it would have even done in the early game.
For sure, but we see aLive there getting a medevac, getting a Viking as well with that reacted starport, so I think it's going to Ooh, that Raven does not want to be there. That's not really supposed to be used for scouting there, Bbyong. And, okay, it's a good move there from Bbyong, knowing that he won't be able to do much damage with that Banshee. He moves back off with it, and he's going to keep that for later on in the game where there's way more action happening on the map. He can use that Banshee to harass and multitask as needed.
The stim has started now. And it looks like it should be aLive who's going to be the first to move out on the map. And that's pretty important because the first player to move out on the map is usually the one that's going to get a little bit of an edge. You really can't be out too much engaging in the middle of the map against each other if you're not sure if your opponent has stim and you don't. So let's see how aLive does in this push later on here. We've seen a lot of games end on 2 to 3 bases in Terran versus Terran.
As we see here, aLive opting to go for a lot of medivacs right now, and it looks like he's actually planning on moving out. So
I really like this.
We might, we see a scan right now, and he's wondering where's the base of, where's the army of Bbyong rather. And we see Bbyong actually opting to get those Vikings instead of those medivacs, and that might hurt him once this attack comes from aLive.
Well, I think what he can do is he can just drop right at the left side of the expansion, and I think Bbyong is, you know, assuming aLive's a little bit more predictable than he actually is, right? He's assuming that he's going to try to just fly into the main. This Marine just going right by and actually not seeing anything. He's going to be moving out with his army. This could be huge. Oh! Coming down now. Tanks taking a lot of damage.
Well, that Cyclone really useful in his army composition right now for aLive, taking out that siege tank in situations like this.
Oh my god, he's not even moving his air army.
Moving his air army as well. I don't know what he's doing with it. He's moving it now, but it might be too little too late for Bbyong getting caught out of position there.
Now, he doesn't have a lot of anti-air, so when the Vikings come up here, they can start to drive away the medevacs, but the medevacs can just as easily boost away.
As we see here, Vikings doing a really good job of controlling.
Viking goes down. Or,
Raven goes down.
Raven goes down, thank you.
As, ooh, it boosts out, actually, the medevac with the tank of aLive. Oh, really nice drop here at the main base of Bbyong by aLive here. These Marines doing a lot of damage. But these Vikings are going to take out this medevac. We'll see how Bbyong reacts after this attack finishes from aLive.
Taking out that medevac, nicely done. And we actually have the siege tanks just controlling the center position here. So far, aLive looking really good. His combat shields are almost done. Stim not even done yet for Bbyong.
Third base of aLive is also finished. I haven't seen a third command center from Bbyong himself, so if aLive gets that third base secured, he's going to get an economical advantage before Bbyong gets his third base as well. And there could be a timing attack where aLive's economy is so much more better than Bbyong that he can just outproduce him.
Yeah, and if you've noticed, the upgrades here for aLive are just better overall. He's getting his range attack done quicker. He's already about to get combat shields. Bbyong does have an opening to try to be on the offense, but is it going to work? Let's see.
We see a drop here from Bbyong trying to get back into this game, but this Marine of aLive scouts it, so looks like Bbyong is going to try and figure out another use for this Marine. Ooh, nice siege tank drop.
Indeed. Yeah, I mean, he can do this for as long as he wants. And frankly, this, medevac is not actually going to get in there and get any kills, it looks like. He's going to come back now, and there's just no way for him to engage now this third base.
This medevac here from aLive is actually playing very risky. It has not even low health, but it has a lot of energy, and energy for medevacs is really important in this matchup because you need to have more energy than your opponent in order to heal more than your Marines more than your opposing army. So,
oh, nice job there by the Cyclone. Does take out that. As the game moves on, the +1 attack about to finish here for Bbyong. Banshee sneaking up in here as well as the Viking does come down to drive him away to make sure that sensor tower is going to stay up in one piece.
Yeah, as we mentioned before, when it gets to this hectic stage of the game, mid-late game, where a lot of stuff is happening for both players, it's really useful to have that Banshee that you built earlier, even though you don't have the Tech Lab starport anymore. Having that Banshee to harass and keep your opponent on their toes, really good for your multitasking harassment.
Okay, now let's watch carefully up here. We see the push coming out for Bbyong, but it's still 2 base versus 3, at least economically for the time being. He started his third base building over there, but he's not reaping the benefits of it just yet.
Yeah, I feel like if there's a time for Bbyong to do damage, it's right now before the third base of aLive kicks in, and it's going to hit this rock tower, and that rock tower is going to go down, and oh, those Vikings, nice snipes there from aLive. Vikings go down for Bbyong, and since Wings of Liberty, Vikings have been very important taking the air, but it looks like Bbyong wants to get in and fight this army up.
And Bbyong is splitting his Marines, but the splash damage is just too effective, even with the auto turrets being cast down. Oh, I love it, taking out that SCV and delaying that expansion even longer. aLive is on fire.
aLive is on fire indeed, as we see this Viking of aLive just harassing these medevacs right now. And without his own Vikings, Bbyong can't really push in further. If I see the tank count right now, it's 6 tanks to 5 in favor of aLive. So I don't think Bbyong can push any further right now where he's positioned.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's actually getting done by having this over here. It looks like he wants to loop around maybe with his tanks and try to get over to this area where the other siege tanks for aLive might not cover. But if he did do that, he'd have to get too close to that turret. I think overall it's just a bad idea.
As we see here on our mini-map, there's a...
Here we go.
Oh, here we go. We'll see how Bbyong does this.
He did drop his siege tanks there a little bit more quickly. Siege tank fire is being traded, but the Marines are now stimming and coming forward, but being hit from the siege tanks in the upper right. He has to pull out.
Really nice positioning there from Bbyong, using those siege tanks, splitting them up between that crevice, I guess you could say. And this command center might actually go down. Yeah, if this command center goes down, Bbyong is definitely back into this game.
Uh-oh. We have a drop over here, and I don't see very much to help defend.
Oh, you don't want to do that, Bbyong. Oh, that's so lucky there. If that Viking got those tanks with the medevac tanks, losing tanks in a matchup like TVT is really bad.
As you can see here, just not enough Marines. This is going to cause all of Bbyong's army to pull back. We have SCVs being pulled here as well. A tank coming down, another attack over here in the front. aLive is everywhere.
I don't know where those Marines came from, but these Marines are doing a lot of damage here. A drop at the back of the third base for aLive. We'll see how much as he falls back. He did get a few SV kills, and these Marines are just going ham in the main base of Bbyong.
They're so squishy right now, but he can take out a few more SCVs and pull Bbyong's army back a little bit further right now. Bbyong a little bit behind on supply, but definitely on the defense for the time being. Let's see if aLive continues to harass or actually does a push here on this third base.
This game is really close right now. The main bases are gone. The expansions are about to be mined out, and what's really interesting to note is that both players have a lot of gas banked up, so we'll see how they invest that excess gas in this situation right now that we're in.
Yeah, they are. You're absolutely right. They are both on a lot of gas, so able to continue to tech pretty heavily here. This does seem to be something that can happen in TVT when you're at 3 base versus 3 base. Note Bbyong even high on gas despite not taking the gases at his expansion.
As we see a huge drop here from aLive. If he gets all these production facilities, Bbyong's going to be in a world of hurt here.
Yeah, even just getting these reactors and tech labs is huge.
And looks like Bbyong's trying to defend this. He'll probably defend this attack just as
he needs to pick up. He needs to pick up.
He needs to pick up. Oh, he gets one medevac. Let's see if he gets the other two.
All right, he's on the run. The Cyclone is in pursuit, and he does manage to not get away.
So he gets out, but let's see how many barracks that aLive killed there. He actually didn't kill any barracks, he just got two reactors.
He got the 2 reactors. I think he got one of the tech labs there. Can you actually check for me? Because we need to know that because of the tank count. The tech lab on the factory.
Oh. Yep. Yeah,
Yeah, he got the tech lab on the factory. So as far as tank count goes, it is 10-8 right now, with aLive able to continue to produce more tanks. Well, that's been stifled, at least for the time being, here from Bbyong.
And we can see here the excess gas has been depleted quite a bit from both players. So it looks like they want to add these extra factories. As we see this drop here, nice Viking placement, shoos away those medivacs with those tanks from aLive. And it looks like aLive wants to go for another drop here.
Okay, he comes forward again. And he's just going to do a little drop here. Now, keep in mind, it's actually 3 base versus 4. I mean, this is pretty huge. So, you know, not only is aLive doing a good job of just harassing in general. Wow, this really goes to show you how much you can get in there and do damage with the tank medevac and still manage to get out. But, yeah, I mean, he's getting more and more behind, and isn't this a hilarious sight?
As we see here, aLive seeing that window of opportunity to move forward in the map, knowing that the harassment that he's done so far has quite dwindled the production of Bbyong. He's moving down towards the ramp. We'll see how he positions this tank medevac army. Okay, he's coming up here now. Remember, the tank count a little bit lower here for Bbyong, but he's got less ground he has to defend with. As we see Liberator here for Bbyong. Oh, this is funny. Look at this. I think he's going to try and ferry units up there. And even if he doesn't ferry units, he's got such a superior tank count that he can just walk up to that base, and if he times his Marines right with those tank shots, he can siege up below that. Oh my God, this is so sick. Look, he can get that tech lab again. No more tanks, as aLive is continuing to choke off his opponent. Marines coming up here, and the Marines for Bbyong are going in the wrong direction, which means all these tanks are going to be picked off. Really nice move there from aLive, and he might actually pick off this command center. If he picks off this command center, that's one less command center for Bbyong to work with. And in a situation like this where he's behind already, you do not want to lose command centers. No, certainly not. Good setup there with the Liberator. Definitely something to slow down his opponent. The Marines from aLive have managed to go down closer to the center left part of the map. The Liberator's set up here. He can't stop that with Marines. He's going to have to get Vikings or something else. Over here he can, however, take out that Liberator. As that Liberator gets taken out, and ooh, that's really close there from Bbyong there. Nearly loses that Liberator. But something to note here is that if we see both players' medevac counts, aLive's at 3 medevacs, Bbyong's at 6. But these players have stimmed their Marines so much that I don't think there's enough medevacs to heal these Marines up. Well, he's actually just going to boost and go back out of here. He's just going to play the game of cat and mouse. And you're absolutely right. With the number of siege tank shots that have been traded, oh man, that is so crazy. The number of siege tank shots have been traded in the limited number of medevacs due to some of the Liberator production occurring here. Yeah, most of these medevacs should be somewhat drained here. And speaking of that, we have this attack coming in here. This is a moment where convex beats concave because hit points matter more. GG. Way too many Marines there from aLive. And we also have to remember that aLive managed to snipe that factory, and as a result, Bbyong could not get his own siege tanks out. And in a matchup like Terran versus Terran, you need siege tanks, and unfortunately for Bbyong, he did not have enough siege tanks, and he lost that game. Nicely done there by aLive. The Freaks are off to a good start. Yep, things are getting pretty freaky here for Freaky Deaky, and that's the first win for Afreeca Freaks this season, so congratulations to them. aLive taking that game over Bbyong on Lerilak Crest. All right, it's not done yet. The Afreeca Freaks still need to win 2 more games. And the pressure's on here for CJ. They're going to have to win at least, well, no matter what, 3. Yeah, both of them have to win 3 games, but yeah, Afreeca having that 1 game advantage so far in this series. And let's see what actually happens. We're going to be going into our next match shortly here. I would say I think aLive might be the strongest player, though, on the Afreeca Freaks. Would you agree with that? I think I'd agree with that, considering the recent results that aLive has been producing lately. I never thought he was going to be this good again, by the way. Nothing against the guy, but normally when you have a player who's just really solid in like Season 2 and Season 3 of GSL, you don't normally bank on them then coming back, you know, when you've had like 28 GSLs total later. But he looks really scary. Yeah, you have to remember he did win an IPL, He's one of those forgotten champions that no one really talks about, but Legacy of the Void has renewed his vigor for the game, and as a result, he's producing really nice results for not only himself, but also for Afreeca Freaks.
Yeah, good to be down here at SPL2016 casting Pro League for you guys. This is the tournament I grew up watching back in Brood War, so it's good to be down here. I know the same is true for you, GTR.
For sure. I remember, well, I lived in Australia, so I didn't have to stay up till 3 or 4 a.m.
Oh, God,
like
yeah, that's right. I rarely was able to stay up till 3 or 4 a.m., but I would download the VODs with my brother.
Yeah, I remember those VODs were 240p quality.
Oh, yeah, man.
Like, if you thought that, okay, so basically back in the day...
The only thing harder to watch than like,
it was really
stuff
hard
at that
to watch.
resolution is like scrambled porn on cable. I mean, it's like basically impossible to actually see. I mean, it's funny because I look back and I'd watched the game so closely and I was not bothered at all by the resolution, but now